What's going on, guys? This is MartyrsBrigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls PvP. Alright guys, we're back at it once again for another volume of the Battle of the Uploader series, and actually this will be volume 7. Now just recently we just completed volume 6 against good old Foxio from Foxio Games. Now we're back at it again with another Xbox uploader named MrIwont4get. Now, I've been a subscriber to his channel for a while now, and I first got turned on to his channel due to two uploads. Actually, I don't know if it's exactly two, but I know it is at least 2 videos wherein he is showcasing his usage of the Lucerne. Right, and actually I think I subscribed to the channel shortly after that, mainly because you almost never see any Lucerne action out there. Right, so when I saw it, I said, you know what, this guy is definitely being unique with regard to his weapon selection, and I'll go ahead and give him a sub for that. Now, in addition to that, he's got a couple videos with him using his Great Axe, his mace, and as a matter of fact, he's got his own version of the Battle of the Uploaders, mainly because originally when I started the Battle of the Uploaders, I was on PS3, right, and he said to himself, you know what, I can kind of do the same thing. You know, I'm on Xbox, there's some uploaders here, why not go ahead and continue the series from this end? So I think he did a couple videos against Sunlight Blade. I think he did one against Fox from Foxio Games, and he also did one with good old Rosie. Shout out to Rosie, to the extent that most of you guys are familiar. I'm pretty sure you are, because she has a huge following. Alright, so let's see what we have going on. Well, I'm not really doing anything. This is just my standard Dex build. Nothing fancy about that. You guys have seen it on multiple occasions. I've been using it lately in some of my forest hunting videos, and I basically have the same version on PS3 with some of my other vids, right? So I really don't have to go too much into this. Now, one thing about me, when I say Dex, I'm not one of those guys that limit Dexterity weapons to katanas. To the extent that you guys are not familiar with the channel, for the most part, I use all Dexterity weapons. For the most part, right? Painted Guardian Sword, Gold Tracer. Rarely, I'll use some of the scythes. You know, the large scythe and the Blood Hunt scythe. The halberds, obviously, spears, the whole nine. I'm not one of those guys that limit my Dexterity build only to the easy mode spears and katanas. Now, for the most part, I think he is also using a Dexterity build, but I'm not really sure, right? Because at this point, he's got a mace. He pulled out a handy-dandy spear earlier, so I'm thinking that this may just be a quality build of his. So that's basically about it. This was an interesting set, mainly because I've been getting a lot of practice with unlocked playing, thanks to good old Elite. I had a couple matches with good old Big Tata as well, and a few other guys. So they have definitely helped me to improve my game. Now, this is not to say that I'm done, right? Because I still have a lot of learning to do. As a matter of fact, I'm learning all the time. All the time I'm learning. You know, as a matter of fact, I'll get some guys who say, hey, look, you want to have some matches? And a lot of those guys are playing unlocked. So I think that's a good thing, right? Because it really allows me to work on some things that I have yet to work on, at least in the past. So that's a good thing. Alright, so we're back at it for another round. And actually, that was my bad right there. I forgot to wait for him to grasp. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to engage. I'm going ahead and try to put a little pressure on him, because I know that he's trying to hit me with some arrows. So I figure since he's being persistent with the arrow attempts, I'll just go ahead and get a couple licks in. If you notice, even though the Boulder Side Sword doesn't really hit for too hard, I just still got like 400, 500 damage by just, you know, 100 here, 200 there, 300 here, 400 there. Right, so eventually it all adds up. Now, he's going to go ahead and try and inflict me with some poison. He's got the handy pike right there. Right, and actually, he's being pretty modest on that pike, right? Because I've seen some dangerous pike users. You know, they just kind of keep you off at a distance, and if you notice, he's not really even two-handing it. So that would be a benefit on my end, actually. Right, for another GG. Alright, so he's going to go ahead and pull out the sight. I'm going to go ahead and use the Quelaag Fury Sword. This is one of my favorite weapons. Right, and, you know, even though, you know, some of you guys may say, dude, how is it your favorite when I rarely see it? Well, I mean, that's only limited to YouTube, right? But I kind of use it a lot when I'm doing my own thing, right? May it be randoms, may it be, you know, just here in the forest, may it be in the burg or whatever, whatever location I might find myself at the particular time. I think the Quelaag Fury Sword is definitely a good option. Now, I know a lot of people sleep on the weapon. It definitely, in my personal opinion, is one of the best looking weapons in the game. But people just cannot sleep on that weapon because it's definitely a good one. Alright, so in the event that you guys are interested, there are my stats right there. I know a lot of times guys may ask me what my stats are. There they go. Alright, nothing fancy. Level 126. Alright, so you know, at this point, after practicing with a few guys and paying attention to their own play style, I'm trying to get these dead angles down pat, right? Because when you really sit back and study closely some of the movements of the weapons, you know, and you see how far they extend at the end of their attack animation, right? You kind of get some ideas with regard to when you should swing, what direction you should swing, if you're trying for a lot of those dead angle attempts. And that's one of the good things that I've learned from, and actually I hate to bring his name up so much, shout out to Elite, but the thing is, I haven't played against anyone like him, right? And whenever you encircle yourself around someone who is more advanced than you can stand to learn a lot from what they have to offer. And that's what I've been doing, right? He'll kind of contact me. He'll say, hey, dude, what's up? What you doing? You know, I think that's a good thing. You know, there's some players out there who, you know, they kind of have their own thing and they don't really communicate with others. But Elite is definitely on a higher echelon level with regard to PvP skill. And I'm glad that, you know, now that I'm on Xbox, you know, whenever he's free, whenever I'm not doing anything, he'll say, hey, dude, come check this out. I want to show you something. He'll even share in on some of the information. So, in addition to listening to some of the suggestions that he offers and watching some of the things that I've seen him do myself, I am kind of learning a lot more than what I've learned in the past. And hey, just keep in mind, guys, I've only had Xbox for about 2 weeks, and the thing is, good old Elite is not even an uploader himself. So basically, a lot of the things that I have learned within the last couple of weeks is basically from my exposure to not only him, but from some of the other guys that play Unlock. Shout out to Big Tata. And there's another guy that, I mean, I don't have his name right in front of me, but you know who you are. Shout out to you too. He was kind of tightening me up with the Claymore with the S-Stock in the left hand. Right, and actually, that's a good combination. And actually, one of these days, if he's not doing anything, I'm going to try to ask him, does he want a series, right? Because in addition to the Battle of the Builds, Battle of the Uploaders, and actually, I think he would make for a great Battle of the Builds opponent. And like I said, his name skips my memory up to this point because I kind of got a lot of things going on with regard to commentaries on this video. But I'm going to contact this particular player. He kind of plays and practices and spars with Big Tata and Elite. So, you know, he's kind of handy with the Pyro, S-Stock in the left hand with the Claymore in the right combination, right? So I'm going to go ahead because there's not too many guys that do a lot of dual wielding, right? And out of the ones who do experiment with it, not too many are as impressive as with some of the gameplay that I've seen him use. And not only have I witnessed, but also, and actually let me take that back, not only have I witnessed from observing as a standbyer or an onlooker, but what I have witnessed in playing against him, right? Because he's definitely tightened me up a few times, and I think that would make for an awesome series. Alright, so I just went on ahead and used my double bleed out weapon combination, Chaos Blade in the right, with the good old gold tracer in the left. Alright, so looks like good old MrIwont4get is using his handy dandy. I think that's an S-Stock. Let me see. Let me just go ahead and pay attention to some of the moveset. Yeah, it looks like it's an S-Stock. Alright, and that's another weapon that I like. You know, a lot of people kind of sleep on weapons like the S-Stock and some of these others. And I think it's mainly because people are conditioned to look at, you know, what weapons has the potential to swing the fastest and output the most damage. Right? But granted, the S-Stock, you guys notice that? 3 parries, and I don't know why I just sat there and kept swinging. I definitely need more practice with that double wielding, and I was just kind of experimenting with that particular combination. But like I was saying before, a lot of people tend to think that, well, these weapons are awesome because they inflict a lot of damage, right? But there are a lot of weapons that have good move sets that may not necessarily inflict as much damage as some weapons, but they are definitely forced to be reckoned with. Case in point, the Balder Side Sword. I mean, you know, that weapon doesn't really inflict a lot of damage, especially when you consider only the R1s. Now, I think we all are familiar with the R2s. But another example is the S-Stock. You know, when you kind of just look at the one-handed R1s, they don't really inflict a lot of damage. But those R2s, both one-handed and two-handed, can definitely be dangerous, and that's why I like to play around with the S-Stock. Alright, so he just gave me a gut punch with the arrow. Right, so another check in the L column. Now, here's one great sword that I just really do not like. I think it had a lot of potential, but I don't know, I just really think it's lacking. That ridiculous Flamberg, in my opinion, kind of sucks. Now, you only get a B scaling with regard to the Flamberg, and even though it's a bleed weapon, it doesn't really build bleed that much, right? So I don't know. I remember I was fighting a couple guys and I was getting a lot of clean hits, and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, out of all of these clean hits, why have I not inflicted bleed up to this point? Right, so you know, it's just another one of those weapons that has a lot of potential, but kind of misses the mark, right? Unlike in that situation where I did hit the mark. Right? Alright, back at it once again. So, once again, I'd like to offer my thanks and appreciation to good old MrIwont4get. You guys need to go ahead and check out his channel. Like I said before, if you guys are kind of interested in some Lucerne action, you want to see some high-speed mace activity, and some of the other things that he has to offer. And as a matter of fact, he has this video where he's using the Havel shield, right? And actually is very informative video where he kind of just goes over the R2 attack that comes with the Havel shield, which is basically very much underused. And actually he kind of gave me some ideas with regard to builds, and I might go ahead and manifest those ideas one day in a future build. Right, so I'll ensure to put a link to his channel in the description box. Alright, so looks like he kind of likes that scythe. He has been using it for a number of rounds, which is a good thing. You know, kind of people find weapons that they like and they kind of stick to them. I know I'm definitely guilty of that, right? Because I use a lot of the halberd. I've been using a lot of the claymore lately, and some of these other weapons that I'm known to use. Alright, so let me try to avoid some of these arrows, and I knew that once he saw me coming he was going to go ahead and try to parry, so I decided not to do a running R1 attack. Alright, so let's see. So once again, I don't know if I really went over it in this particular video. I know I talked about it in another. But to the extent that you guys may be streamers out there, kind of interested, go ahead and send me a message. Leave a comment in the comment section. I'll review your channel. Now, unfortunately, if you're kind of brand new to uploading, right, maybe you want to get a little experience with regard to uploading, right, make a few investments, because I didn't necessarily establish the battle of the uploaders for brand new uploaders, right, not necessarily for brand new. And here's why. When I first started my uploads, I was basically one of those rapier hornet ring guys, brand new. Now granted, I was never a housewife, right? Even when I started, a lot of those guys will be able to tell you to the extent that they were with me from the beginning. I was medium rolling. I never used grass, and I used the lightning rapier with the hornet ring. That was my thing. I was basically a lone host in the forest. That's all I did. And basically, when you first start, in a lot of cases, right, you might be somewhat new to PvP or relatively inexperienced in some cases. So, and actually, let me kind of correct that. If you're brand new to uploading, I won't say that it is not for you. But keep in mind that if you're brand new, I'm definitely going to kind of check out your footage out first. Right now, some of these experienced guys who's been out for a while, MrIwont4get has been uploading for a few months now, and like I said before, from watching some of the material from his videos, I thought he was definitely a good contestant with regard, and actually that also includes some of the other guys that I've had in the past. So the same can be said for some of my future Battle of the Uploader videos, right? If you guys are somewhat new, I'm going to check out your channel, right? And if I see some good footage despite being new, we can go ahead and have a series as well. But if you're kind of new, you're still kind of finding your way into PvP, go ahead and get a little more experience. Now, I'm not saying you have to be some kind of big shot pro. It's not even about that. But what I'm saying is, if you're kind of new to PvP, not just uploading, maybe you want to get a little more experience, right? Just a little bit. So, anyone who's an uploader, go ahead, send me a comment, send me a note, and I'll go ahead and check it out. And I will definitely be looking forward to sharing a series of matches and having some good experiences with you guys. Now, like I said before, that is not limited to Xbox and PlayStation. That is also a welcome for any of the Twitch streamers. Any of you guys, you stream, Nakumo, some of these other dudes, I'll go ahead, we'll have a series. Any place, anytime, just go ahead, leave a comment or send me a message. Alright, well, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Like I said before, thanks to good old MrIwont4get for the awesome performance. He put forth a good demonstration. I'm pretty sure that his subscribers will be pleased. And basically, we'll definitely have to do this another time. Now, I remember he kind of jokingly said, dude, you kind of schooled me. Right? But it is what it is. It's not about all that, right? Because I've definitely got schooled on a number of occasions. Right? But it was a good performance. Alright, guys, until next time, MartyrsBrigade is